Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation, a very late Suspended Fanimation. Sorry, work got in the way. Welcome, everybody. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for the season finale or series finale, who knows? Obi-Wan Kenobi, Season 1, Episode 6, Part 6, because it's creative that way to just name it Part 6. And there's also a contest as well, as you can see from my little friend over here. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library. I'm almost at 1,000 videos, so I'm getting close, and it pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you're feeling lucky or you just want to gamble, you can hit that little bell down below, and YouTube may or may not notify you when I come on live. Best thing to do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule that I have. I change it out every week. Also, I put up the links to all my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. So, hey, Sirius. Hey, the notifications have come back. All right. Hey, Morks, how's it going? All right, everybody. We're all here. Spoiler alert. I am going to spoil the episode. If you've not seen the episode, go away. Or you can come on back, and this will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. So go ahead, pause, whatever you need to do. I'll be here. All righty. Hey, Mufinobi. And Pen and Sirius and Morks. All right. So, I'll save my judgment for the very end here. So where we leave off, of course, is the ship is taken off with the people, the refugees, if you will, and man, I mean, it's they're trying to outrun the Star Destroyer, of course, Vader's Star Destroyer, and their hyperdrive is down. And they're just dodging and weaving, dodging and weaving, dodging and weaving, and Vader's just fucking toying with them at this point. Kenobi, realizes that he needs to get off the ship and basically, take down Vader at this point. Hey, D-Bith. So what does he do? He gets aboard the only ship that's aboard the ship that does not have a fucking hyperdrive, and he takes off. And of course, Vader decides to follow him, even though the Grand Inquisitor himself says, "But hey, we can stop these people. We can stop the rebels before they get started. We can stop them in their tracks." And Vader's like, "Nope, we need to go after Kenobi because that bitch is mine." Is pretty much what he says. That's what he paraphrases it at. He does need a better targeting system on his destroyer. I think what happens is, Morks, is the mask that he's wearing is fogging up the lenses, so he doesn't get a good visual on the shot that he's. Also, I think I think the space is too wide in between his eyes, so he's not getting, he's getting monocular vision, is what he's getting out of each eye, which is fucking him up on his, yeah. Anyway, so what do? They end up going down to a planet and duking it out. And Kenobi finally unblocks himself from the Force and is able to, after he gets buried by Vader. Vader does some weird mind shit where he opens up a pit in the ground and then starts burying Kenobi in it. Kenobi busts out of the ground, reborn. There's I fucking hate, I'm sorry, but I hate whenever a director uses some kind of alliteration, if you will, or some kind of symbolism in order to show a rebirth of a character. In this case, Kenobi coming back from the dead. He's coming out of the ground and has a renewed use of the Force. Yeah. Thank you, Mufinobi. You didn't need to do that. So he bursts out of the ground. He can use the force now. He lifts up all these rocks and he's just flinging them at Vader. Vader's getting hit. He's, dodging, hitting, dodging, whatever. Um, then Kenobi, of course, flies, launches himself at him and starts cutting him up with a lightsaber and bursts open the helmet, half the helmet. And, he tries to appeal to Anakin. And Anakin says, I'm the one. Anakin is no more. I'm the one who killed him. And that's when Kenobi realizes that Anakin, his friend, is truly gone. Well, that's because he just really doesn't feel like doing much. I'm just gonna say flat out here that Yoda is a failure as a teacher, and I'm gonna I'll get back to this near the end, but stick with that point that Yoda is a horrible teacher. Um, Mufinobi says, I didn't think Kenobi took Vader's shuttle, but he went to Tatooine with hyperdrive. Yeah, the shuttle that they had aboard the ship, the getaway ship had a hyperdrive on it. The little Anyway, Mufinobi says too many line drops from older movies, and logically Kenobi let a mass murderer free. Yes, so I'm gonna get to that too. So that's the other thing too is that Kenobi just walks the fuck away. He actually told now I'm blanking on his name, the pilot dude, uh Roken, there we go. He told Roken, he goes, I'm going to end this once and for all. I'm going to take Vader down. It's him or me kind of thing. And what does he do? He walks away from him, just literally walks away from Vader, doesn't take him down, just like he did for Anakin. Anakin, he left lying there with legless, of course, armless, and roasted by, roasting near an open fire. Um, Yeah, Kenobi fucked up again. And again, I think it's due to Yoda's horrible teaching. Um, Sirius says, and Vader's all like, no, I'll do this alone for no particular reason because no one knows this guy was my master. Don't worry about it, Mr. Grand Inquisitor. Nothing to see here. Exactly. Uh, Morg says, shouldn't have Vader died when Kenobi cracked his helmet? Wasn't the helmet vacuum sealed? No, it's not. Hey, Mercenary X84. So Kenobi just kind of leaves, Vader alone, and and the Star Destroyer that's in orbit, mind you, does not go after him. Doesn't bother to follow him whatsoever. In the meantime, Riva has gone to Tatooine. She's looking for a farmer named Owen, which of course she knows who Owen is because she's dealt with Owen before, so she knows what he looks like. So her having to ask around, I'm looking for a farmer named Owen when you specifically fucking threatened him in the first episode. So you should know what he looks like because you kind of made it a point that you were going to kill him. Uh, and you were kind of upset about it that Grand Inquisitor told you no. So, yeah, anyway. So we got Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru basically fending off Riva. And Obi-Wan arrives. He hits the hyperdrive, gets there. Luke has run out into the wastelands, because with Riva, an injured Riva, of course, she has that lightsaber wound that Vader gave her, and she's running across the desert, and she pulls down little Luke, and she is going to kill him, and she can't. She can't do it. She sees herself in him, and she can't do it. And she brings little Luke back over to the farm, and Obi-Wan basically tells her, yeah, you're not like him, you can't be him. Now you're on a different path, you've seen the light. Yeah. Luke, who's never seen a lightsaber. Exactly Mufinobi. Luke says he's never seen a lightsaber before in New Hope, so yeah, that kind of fucks things up too. She's probably trying to get his address. She could have been, but yeah. Anyway. Mufinobi says Yoda and some other positive moments should have been in Kenobi's visions when reconnecting to his power. Uh, yeah, possibly, but they had to make it about little Leia, and that was the reason why he yeah. Uh, was he passed out though, D-Bith? Because I believe she was chasing. She was in the yeah. She was in the silo wherever the fuck he was hiding with her lightsaber out. So yeah. Merc says the real reason why the Emperor called Vader was because he saw that charge on his credit card for the yeah, it was that Amazon charge. Um, that's true. Those Amazon charges, especially the delivery fee to Mustafar, must be a bitch. Um, so yeah, at the end of all of this, what do we get? We basically get that you know, Ben gets to meet Luke. He gets to give him the toy that we see Luke playing with 9 years later, the plane, so we can connect this with a good movie. And then he gets to, as I called, talk to Qui-Gon, because Qui-Gon says, I've been here all this time, bitch. I've been waiting on you to unblock the Force so that you can talk to me. And let's go. Let's move. I've been waiting out here for 10 years for your tired ass to fucking unblock the Force. And that's all we got out of this. That's really what this all boils down to. Is it boils down to Obi-Wan being and it could have been done so much better, so much faster. Um, because honestly, this is a boring story. This was a boring story. What I would have rather have seen is I would have rather have seen this whole story from Vader's point of view and the Inquisitors, and then you could intersperse uh, Obi-Wan and little Leia in there, their whole storyline, and just shorten that whole thing down and just called it Darth Vader is what you should have called it. Darth Vader or Vader hunts Obi-Wan, something like that, or the Grand Inquisitors. I don't know, the Inquisitors, something like that. It could have been so much better than this snooze fest of a fucking series that we got. Sirius says, in all seriousness, I think the problem here is that roughly half the show just doesn't have to be there. Yeah, exactly. Episodes 1, 3, and 6 could have made a solid movie on its own, I guess. So yeah, and we didn't get a lot of continuity errors, Pen. We got a lot of hand waving is what we got. Movie Kenobi says, set it 5 years after Order 66. Kenobi struggling, then his travels bring him. So the other thing too is, so the reason why Yoda is such a bad teacher is because at the end of episode 3, Yoda specifically says to Obi-Wan, um, teachings I have for you, an old friend you will talk to, kind of thing. Basically, he's going to teach Obi-Wan how to commune with Qui-Gon. And that is going to be his lessons that he has to work on out in Tatooine while he's looking over Luke. And obviously, Yoda is such a fucking shitty teacher. I mean, come on. He lost Count Dooku to the dark side. Qui-Gon was pretty much heading towards the dark side as well. And yeah, the whole thing with Obi-Wan, he fucked that up as well. So Yoda's a horrible teacher. He really is. And maybe shouldn't have been around some children or younglings or anything like that because, yeah. Anyway. And Yoda has Alzheimer's. Maybe he might have. Maybe that explains the talking. Vader could have had his own. Yeah, exactly. We could have had Vader have his own series. Exactly, movie Kenobi. And if this whole thing could have been shown from Vader's perspective, and it would have been such a better movie or better series, I guess you could say. They need a show from the Empire point of view. I believe they're doing that with Acolyte, Debith. Sirius says, I actually did like the arc between Vader and Obi-Wan and his final confrontation, less the fight and more the conversation after Vader gets his mask cut. Was probably my favorite. Yeah, I have to admit, there's little things here and there that are good, but overall, the entire story. I mean, I watched it this morning and I said, that's it? That's what this whole thing was about? was him to get unblocked from the Force. So basically, he just needed to get his chi unblocked, is what he needed, so he can talk to Qui-Gon. And I was kind of wondering if that was going to be the case to begin with around episode 2. And I was kind of scared about it. And I didn't mention it, but I was like, they're not going to go that route. But yeah, sure, of course, they went that route. Sirius says, yeah, where the fuck is Yoda? Exactly. Where the fuck is Yoda? Yoda could, have a communicator or something like that and say, hey, what's going on, motherfucker? But no, he doesn't. Mufino says, yes, we never saw Kenobi training at all. He was cutting rotten dragon meat. Exactly. Yeah, he wasn't following any of the training. He wasn't doing any of his meditation. He wasn't even trying to get in touch with Qui-Gon. And supposedly Yoda gave him training to do. And of course, he wasn't doing any of it. Yeah. Sirius says they shouldn't do a season 2, but they're gonna. Just you wait. Kenobi, the Book of Maul. I hope not, because we already had the perfect Maul ending in it was mauled in Rebels, I think. Yeah, well, you know what happens when you get older, Morks, is you do get a blockage in the Force, and sometimes you need to have a doctor, work that out for you. There are supposedly, surgeries that can get rid of that. Penn says there was no doubt Qui-Gon was coming. Kind of a letdown. Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, Liam Neeson's a busy guy, so I knew he was going to come in, and I was kind of glad he did. And the way he did it was just kind of like, come on, motherfucker, we need to move. Which is kind of that's Qui-Gon and Liam Neeson as well. Or we could have had this whole thing shown from Qui-Gon's perspective of him just sitting there in the desert, just waiting, looking at a Force watch, just kind of like, wonder when this motherfucker's going to see me. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, not the greatest of series. I'm not happy with this series at all. Yeah, it's a pretty shit. I was kind of surprised that this is actually worse than the Book of Boba Fett. So, color me surprised, even though, I mean, there was no riding the Rancor moment. Ride the Rancor. I mean, for fuck's sake. I was really kind of surprised this is actually worse than Book of Boba Fett, which is hard to do, but they did this. And that this came from Deborah Chow as well, which she's done some of the best Mandalorian episodes, and she delivered this. I know she didn't do the writing on it, but still, I mean, come on, man. Penn said stop giving them ideas. No. So with that said, oh, and by the way, so the Miss Marvel, I know I have it on the calendar. I'm doing Miss Marvel at 7:00, which of course now it's already past 7:00. I'm not doing Miss Marvel. I'm going to move it to tomorrow. There's a shit show happening at work right now, and I was not able to get out in time at all. So I haven't even watched. I've watched half the episode, is what I've watched, and so I'm going to carry it over till tomorrow and cover it then. And I'll say this right now. Miss Marvel's episode this week so far, the 20 minutes or so that I've watched is still better than this whole series of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Mufinobi says, I think she directs well, but the writing was god awful. Yeah. I think she was supposed to do a movie Mufinobi. I originally think that Deborah Chow was supposed to do a Star Wars movie, and then they cut back off of that. Yeah. Which is a shame because I mean she does action well. She does. She actually really is a good director. When she's not doing fucking shaky cam. That was the other thing too that I really didn't like about this episode is the action scenes where you had the camera down low and then it was kind of moving around like shaky cam. And I was like, why are you doing that? That looks like a really bad music video. Like someone filmed a music video in their garage. So it was kind of Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, with that said, let's move on to the contest, shall we? So the contest is open to people in the continental United States only. The reason why is international shipping rates, even to Canada, is a fucking joke. It's really ridiculously expensive. And yeah, I'm not paying $20, $40 for shipping. It just, I'm sorry, I can't. I can't justify it. Sirius says Ian McGregor is giving his all. I'll give him that. He just can't stop being the best part of Bad Story. I know. So, what do you do in order to enter the contest? All you need to do is when this becomes a video, all you need to do is post a comment, and that puts you in the running. Now you can post as many comments as you want, but you're only going to get one entry. Hey, thanks, Move for Nova. You didn't need to do that. I know CBM, I know, but really it is. I literally looked up the postal rates on it, and it's fucking ridiculous. Something like this guy would cost $20 just to send out. So, first prize, of course, is going to be I am your father. Why I talk in a different voice when I have the breathalyzer on, I have no idea. No one knows why, but I talk differently when I have the mask on, and then when I talk differently when the mask is off, because that's the way it is. But when the mask is on, I talk differently. There we go. So yes, that's the first prize. Uh, yes, and second prize is this little dude. That's right, Lego Star Wars Stormtrooper. So again, all you need to do is put a comment down in the comment section, and then next Thursday, not this Thursday, but next Thursday, um, I'm going to do a drawing. I'll have a whole episode of that and do the drawing and all that kind of stuff. And whoever wins, I'll send it out to you guys as long as you tell me where you live. I know it's part of the deal, unfortunately, because I need to be able to send the shit to you. So. Mufino says you only get one entry, just like Morks. Oh wow, loud, belligerent American ramblings. Yes, I know. Thanks, Mufinobi. I thought they were cool prizes too. I was gonna do little Boba Fett right here, but I'm gonna save Boba Fett for season 2 of Boba Fett, so we have something good to look forward to. Because I'm not trusting that shit either at this point. But yeah, this series was such a disappointment. It really was. I still want to know why Anakin talks differently with his mask off and when his mask is on. Yes, I know it's James Earl Jones, speaking, and he's enunciating, but he's got that weird accent as he's talking. And then Anakin comes through and he's got a different accent altogether and different voice pattern. And yeah, I don't know. Although I do find it funny. I kind of wonder if in canon, if they can just have him have a James Earl Jones voice filter, that that's all they have in their mask, the breathalyzer mask thing. And that's the only option you get, is you sound like James Earl Jones when you have it on. So Vader's suit has auto tune. Yeah, hopefully. Anyway, with that said, now you know what the contest is about. Now you know what's going on here. Sirius says, haha, I feel like it just emphasizes the fact that he uses a voice modulator to make himself more intimidating, but to the viewer it is ironically less intimidating. Yeah, kind of. Hello, ladies. Do you find my voice attractive? Can I buy you a drink? That I would actually watch. I would watch a show of Vader doing, picking up a woman in like the cantinas or something like that. That would be pretty fucking funny. Oh my god. Sorry, I just had so many different ideas that just went through my head all at once there for that idea. and they were all wrong. And it's been a long day. So anyway, what else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Well, tomorrow is going to be Miss Marvel. I'm going to finally get to Miss Marvel tomorrow. Friday is going to be The Boys. The Boys episode 6. We're going to get to Herogasm. If you don't know what Herogasm is, look it up from the comic. The Boys, they're going to be doing the live action version of that, and holy fuck, help us all. Saturday I'm going to be off. Sunday is going to be the Sunday edition of Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the week and any genre stuff you guys want to talk about. And we talk about it. And yes, I know Westworld is on Sunday, but because it's on, it's on early for me, 6 p.m. my time. So by the time it ends around 7:20ish or something like that, it's a little too late for you guys on the East Coast. So I'm going to move that over to Mondays. When Westworld is going to be over on Mondays, is what we're going to do. So yes, season 4 of Westworld, is that right? Yeah, is going to be on Mondays. Tuesday, I think I'm going to drop Is It Worth My Time at the moment. Oh wait, actually I can't. Yes, it will be Is It Worth My Time, because that is Umbrella Academy season 3. Holy shit, there's a lot of stuff going on this weekend. And then Wednesday is going to be back around again to Miss Marvel by herself at this point. So yeah. Movie for notice says, I remember Target or someplace had Christmas Star Wars greetings. I think, yeah, there's a lot of places that had Christmas Star Wars. Sirius is still, I like how they tried to mix rather than having Kenobi destroy the modulator. Yeah, I do kind of like that when the mask is kind of half destroyed and Anakin is trying to speak, and then you see him, he kind of leans down into the microphone so he can get a little more James Earl Jones-ish as he's speaking. And I kind of started laughing. It's like, are you trying to impress your friend there? Are you trying to intimidate him? Because it isn't working. Pens, I feel cheated that Reva survived. She needed killing. Yeah, considering all the people that she's fucking killed. And then Kenobi's like, yeah, you're not like Anakin. Go off and go and enjoy your life. You killed a whole bunch of people. You even converted a whole bunch of children, force sensitive children, that you brought into the Empire as well, and brought to the Emperor so they can be turned just like you. But yeah, why don't you go off and live your own life? Everything's good. Fucking yeah. Sirius says, yeah, she needed not to be in the show. Yeah, uh I'm just gonna say right now, yeah, Moses Ingram is just a horrible actress. She really is. She's a horrible actress. And even though this series was horrible, she was not a good actress. When the the 5-year-old kid who's playing a 10-year-old is outdoing you in a scene that you're both in, you're a horrible actress. So, yeah. So you cut the runtime by 2/3. I would cut this runtime to 2 episodes. Serious. I would have brought this thing down to 2 episodes. That's it. If you're going from Kenobi's perspective here, if we're still following Kenobi's perspective. So, yeah, that would have been it. I mean, you would have had the confrontation with Vader at the end of episode 1. Yeah. And then episode 2 would be resolving all of this shit, and we'd be on our way. He unblocks the Force. He's able to pee again, and he sees Qui-Gon. You've been already watching season 3 of Umbrella Academy CPM? Yeah, I haven't as of yet. I will be, though. Sirius says, I'm sorry, I want to be clear. I'm not trying to come down on her. Her arc literally did not make sense to me. And as much as she could have elevated it, it's a failure in writing. Yeah, it's a failure in writing. I agree with you, but also her delivery. The only thing that worked for me was the comparison between her child self and her adult self, is when her as the youngling and her as the adult version of herself.
when that actually worked. That was it. And again, she wasn't speaking. It was more the emoting, if you will. But her acting, no bueno. I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. And honestly, do we really need you know uh Kumail Nanjiani in this as well, in another Disney property? I mean, granted, he had a little bit of comic relief to it, but yeah, all right, thanks, man. Penn says that brings it back to original movie runtime. It does. I know, just 2 episodes. Yeah. Mixed with someone who couldn't elevate it like Ewan. There we go. Mork says, didn't come across as you coming down on her. And Sirius says, yeah, I do just feel bad about how much flack she's taken. I know it's a small vocal minority. Yeah, the racist stuff is bullshit. I'm just going to say that right now. It's got nothing to do with her race or anything like that. I'm talking about her acting ability. Her acting ability was just, nah. So I got no hate towards her or anything like that. I'm just saying the acting was not there. So maybe she's done acting in other stuff that's actually been good. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, when people saw Hayden Christensen as Anakin when he first did it, they were like, "Oh God, this guy is a fucking wooden actor," and that's because Lucas was directing him. And then you see him in other stuff, and you're like, "Oh, this guy can actually act." And it was just the really shitty, script that he was given. So that's what I stand on this. Why was Reva after Luke? She doesn't even know that he's Vader's son. Yeah, that's the other thing too. I don't know. We don't know, Penn. That was a whole yeah, who knows why. Maybe she put 2 and 2 together. I don't know. CBM says, I will not spoil the season to you. For Umbrella Academy season 3. Great. Thank you. Mark says, I didn't get that she hunted Kenobi to not hunt him and then hunted Luke to not hunt him. Very basic. Her character was badly written. Her character was video game written. She was a NPC, is what she was. And a badly written NPC at that. Sirius says, yeah, just trying to distance myself from that crowd. No, I totally understand, Sirius. I don't paint you in that light, really. So same thing with me. I'm not in that camp at all. And that's bullshit that people actually do that kind of stuff. I mean, yeah. Sirius says, such a great crew we've got here. We do, yes. There's literally a better written version of her in the most recent Star Wars game. I know, in Fallen Order, I know. But they're saving that character for Acolyte. So that character is going to be an Acolyte. At least that's what the rumor is. Oh, and the other rumor that just came out is that Cal Kestis, or the guy who he's modeled after in the video game, is going to have his own Disney Plus series. That's the rumor that's coming out right now. Yes, there is a Fallen Order 2. It's not allegedly, Marks. They have announced it. They did announce it at Star Wars Celebration. Yeah. Sirius says she was already too similar to Krylo in my mind. Possibly. No, Reva was not similar to Krylo. Krylo was just you want to talk about really badly written? I mean, just yeah, there was a whole bunch of stuff that was people who, I'm going to say this right now, it's going to be fairly unpopular. The recent trilogy that J.J. Abrams started and also ended was written by people who hate Star Wars. That's all I'm just going to say right there. It was written by people who don't like Star Wars. There you go. The more I think about it, the more I've looked at it and stuff like that. It's just written by people who don't like Star Wars, who didn't like the Skywalker saga, I should say, and wanted to destroy it. Yeah. Sirius says just how they intentionally tried to portray her in the first few episodes. Yeah, I can see that. No, I'm pretty sure. Well, JJ has ADHD. Uh, dude, I saw him live at a convention at a panel like years ago before he started blowing up. I can't remember what it was for. I think it was actually for Star Trek, for the first Star Trek, and how his mind was just kind of flitting from one thing to another and not really. And that's kind of what his movies do. And I'm like, oh, that explains it. Because that's what his scripts do as well. Mork says, yet here we are. All the new series go back to the Skywalker area. That's true. I know. I know. Sirius said he had said long ago that he had no love for Star Trek. He really only cared about Star Wars. He said that when he was making Star Trek. Yes, I was actually at that convention when he said that. That he did not like Star Trek, that he liked Star Wars, and people booed him. I was one of those people that booed him. And he made it anyway and fucked up Star Trek. Completely fucked up that franchise. Then he went on to fuck up Star Wars. So, yeah. He puts a stink on everything. He literally destroys franchises, is what he's done. I can't watch the Mission Impossible series at all. When you make Phelps the fucking villain, fuck you. That's all I can say. Sirius says, but always figured he had some sort of passion for Star Wars, even if I don't think he did a good job. He's a fanboy that just tried to recreate Star Wars and then failed at it pretty miserably. I mean, come on, bringing back the fucking Emperor? Seriously? Anyway, I digress at this point. Yeah. Horrible series. We didn't get much out of it other than we got some good Vader scenes. That was about it. I actually went back and rewatched just the Vader, holding the shuttle down and bringing it down, then ripping the pieces off of it. I started from when he starts walking through the corridors and he's just pissed off, and you can see him striding, and he's cutting open doors with the Force, just opening them up, and then he gets to the shuttle and he's like grabbing it and he brings it down. Then I watched him fight with Reva, and I was like, this is actually a pretty fucking good series of scenes right here. Why couldn't we just do it from Vader's point of view? So this whole series should have been about Vader and the Inquisitors. It really should have just been about Vader and the Inquisitors, and Obi-Wan should have been just a side note on all of this. Jody says the whole thing feels more like a movie that got chopped up and then forcibly stretched to fit 6 episodes, didn't it? Yeah, it pretty much was. Yeah. Yeah. Jody says, yes, Dennis, I would have liked it to be more if this was more of a Jedi Purge type story than, yeah, I know. You could have had the whole thing with Vader abducting Force sensitive children and Leia being one of them targeted because there's a group of Inquisitors out there that are hunting down Force sensitive children, and they don't know that Leia is a senator's daughter because she's off, maybe she's out someplace, whatever, and they kidnap her, and yeah, that whole thing. That way you could have said that's why you bring Obi-Wan in, and then of course you bring Vader into it because Vader wants to hunt down Obi-Wan. Yeah. Hey MJ. So would you rate this at 2 stars out of 5? I'll give it 2 stars out of 5, MJ. I'll do it that way. Yeah. She was at a summer camp. Yeah, she was at the Endor summer camp. That's what it was. They were dodging Ewoks because Ewoks like to eat little children. Jody says, "Why not have Vader training Force sensitive to become Inquisitor?" Yeah, well, yeah. I mean that whole thing. I mean, there's so many ways you could have gone with this and still done this same story. And yeah. They still could have done it with Leia and Luke. I still think they could have done this. And yeah. Jody says the duels between Vader, Kenobi, and Reva at times made me think of cutscenes Star Wars video games like Force. Yeah. Yeah. They were good though. I mean, they were actually really damn good. I have to admit. So that is where Deborah Chow excels, is in the action scenes. All this really slow burn shit that was going on, um, which didn't add anything to the story. It really didn't. Yeah, just didn't work. Sirius says, imagine how shocked Kenobi is going to be when he finds out Osaka's been chilling in a forest someplace this whole time. Osaka's? I don't know who Osaka's is. Sorry. Anyway, I'm almost going as long as the Anakin. You mean Ahsoka? Ahsoka. Okay, sorry. There we go. Jody says yes. The duels and action scenes were fun, but the story felt like it meh. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. Ahsoka is going to be so much better because Dave Filoni is writing it. He's going to be directing a couple episodes. It's his baby. He's overseeing the entire thing, and Ahsoka is his character. He wrote Ahsoka with George Lucas, so it's still George's baby for the most part, but it's also Dave Filoni's baby as well. So I have the utmost faith in Dave Filoni to give me something good. Yeah. No, he won't let anybody else touch Ahsoka. That's for fucking sure. The episodes where Ahsoka is in them in The Mandalorian and Boba Fett, that's Dave Filoni. He wrote it, and he also, I believe, he directed both of those episodes as well. So, yeah, that's all Dave Filoni. Then maybe they'll work Maul into her show, and I don't think so. Serious. Spoiler alert, but Maul's dead by that time. Yeah. Yeah. Maul dies before A New Hope. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. And it is canon. So, yes. All right. Really, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you to everybody joining me today in the chat. And thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms, all the stuff you've been watching, and tries to match it as best as possible. The one of the videos I've asked for your library and pops up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know where I'm going to be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule. I change it out every week. Also, I have the links to all my pages and all the links to my social media up there as well. Sirius says, then Ahsoka will cut off his arms and all the extremities will be robots, and then Maul will use the Force. Jody says, what timeline are we going to see Ahsoka? It's during The Mandalorian. So it's 5 years after Return of the Jedi. So, unless, bear with me, parallel universe. Why don't we do time travel? Oh, yeah. Yeah, me too. I'm going to be off to go watch Miss Marvel because usually what ends up happening on Thursdays is I end up getting the boys around 5-ish, 6 o'clock-ish my time. And then I'm really looking forward to Hero Gasm because it's just, from what I understand, it's supposed to be really goddamn shocking. So I'm looking forward to that. And the little dogs give me looks over there. So Thank you, everybody. I will see you again on tomorrow for Miss Marvel. So until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may get shish kebab by a lightsaber by Vader, but don't worry, it's not going to kill you because no one's dying in this series for some reason, unless you're a mercenary, and then you're just going to get killed off screen. But thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care. Wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get the boosters as well. They don't work without the boosters. And stay safe out there, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Have a good night and take care out there. Thanks, everyone. Good night.